welcome the use of Welsh language at meetings. I have had no requests for people to speak Welsh today, so this meeting will be conducted in English only. Members of the Chamber, please be aware that we are all on camera and that you may be visible on screen when people around you are speaking, and please remember to speak clearly into your microphones. Members taking part remotely, please can refrain from using the chat function and instead use the raised hand icon to indicate when you'd like to speak. Please remember to keep your microphone muted when you are not talking. Moving on to the agenda, we go to agenda item 1, which is attendance and apologies. Chris, do you have any apologies, please?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, we've had apologies from Councillors Carl Gordon, Ron Burnett and John James.
Thank you, Chris. Agenda item 2, declarations of interest. Members, do you have any interest to declare today? No? Okay. We move straight on to agenda item 3, which is minutes of the Statutory Licensing Committee, 10th to the 2nd, 22, which is on pages 3 to 6. Members, could you possibly state whether you have anything to raise in relation to the minutes? If not, I will take them as approved. Okay, we'll take them as approved. We go on to agenda item 4, minutes of the previous licensing hearings, pages 7 to 14. Members, these are to note. Could you possibly state whether you have anything to raise in relation to the minutes? If not, I will take them as approved. Anything to raise? Nope. Okay, thank you. We go on to agenda item 5, which is workload update, quarters 3 and 4 for October 2021 to March 2022. These are on pages 15 to 28 of the agenda. I'll now hand you over to Claire Howells, who's the team manager for Licensing and Trading Standards, who will deliver the report. Claire? You're on mute, Claire.
Thank you. I'll just share my screen. And if you can confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, we can, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So the report that's prepared for you today for Statutory Licensing Committee is a workload update for quarters 3 and quarters 4 of the 2021-2022 reporting period. The functions fall into Statutory Licensing Committee are the Licensing Act 2003 and the Gambling Act 2005. In relation to the Licensing Act 2003, this covers alcohol, entertainment and late night refreshment. There have been 13 complaints received during the reporting period in relation to premises licensed under the Licensing Act 2003. Complaints include 2 in relation to noise nuisance, which were referred to the Council's Public Health Team for investigation, and 3 in relation to allegations of breaches of permitted opening hours. Letters of warning have been issued to all 3 premises alleged to be trading outside of permitted hours. There has been 1 allegation of drugs misuse and the information has been shared with Heddley Gwent Police. The committee were made aware at the last meeting of 3 complaints received in relation to a premises which holds a club premises certificate and allegations that the club's committee are not adhering to club's rule. This investigation is still ongoing, but due to the complexity of the nature of the complaint, this is taking a significant amount of time. The committee will be updated accordingly in the future. There has been a total of 51 temporary event notices received during the second half of the year, which is a significant increase when compared with the same reporting period for the previous year, where only 10 temporary event notices were received. This indicates that events are now starting to resume following the COVID-19 pandemic. During quarter 4, the team dealt with an allegation that a members' club in the borough were refusing entry to members of the Gypsy Traveller community. Officers have worked with the Council's Community Cohesion Officer and the committee of the club, and this matter has now been resolved. A joint operation was carried out with officers from the Home Office immigration team during quarter 3. It was discovered that 3 individuals working on the premises at the time of the visit had no right to work in the UK. Action was taken against the individuals as deemed appropriate by the Home Office immigration enforcement team. The premises has since ceased trading, but the premises licence issued under the Licensing Act 2003 remains in force. The licensing team are yet to be informed if any action will be taken by the Home Office in relation to the licence. There has been 2 complaints in relation to the sale of alcohol to underage persons. Joint visits have been carried out to both premises by the licensing officer and a trading standards officer. Although trading standards take the lead in relation to underage issues, there is crossover work with the work of the licensing team. The sale of alcohol to underage persons is an offence under the Licensing Act 2003 and undermines one of the 4 key licensing objectives, that being the protection of children from harm. Therefore, a joint approach has been undertaken and will continue to be undertaken in relation to such allegations. Both premises were visited, advised, provided with guidance in relation to due diligence, such as keeping a refusals register and providing staff training, and premises will be subject to test purchasing by trading standards in the future. There has been no coronavirus-related enforcement against licensed premises during quarters 3 and 4. There's been no complaints in relation to gambling premises during the reporting period. An application for a new adult gaming centre was received during quarter 3 of the year. The applicant had a small unit in the borough but has relocated to larger premises. Therefore, a new licence has to be obtained, as a licence is premises specific and cannot be moved from one location to another. During the reporting period, one premises licensed to provide facilities for betting has surrendered their licence. The licensing officer has also been made aware that an additional 2 premises licensed under the Gambling Act has ceased trading, a betting shop and an adult gaming centre, but to date the licences have not been surrendered by the licence holders. The overall work results of the team are included in the activity report, which is attached at Appendix A. Service requests and business advice continues to see an increase, and this is evidenced in the activity report. Due to competing priorities and an increased demand on the team within all areas, officers have not been able to achieve set targets for the year in relation to the number of inspections carried out. As you are aware, the licensing team lost a member of staff who moved to another local authority at the beginning of September of last year, which resulted in only 1 member of the team from September to January. The vacancy was successfully filled and training for the new member of the team is ongoing. In relation to policy, the committee has previously been advised of the statutory 3-year requirement to review the Council's Statement of Gambling Principles. A committee meeting held on the 7th of October 2021, the committee considered a draft revision of the policy following a consultation exercise, and the committee approved the revised policy prior to consideration by full council. On the 19th of October 2021, the revised version of the policy was considered by Council, who approved the Statement of Principles, which took effect from the 31st of January 2022 for a 3-year period. There has been no complaints against service in relation to matters that need reporting to Statutory Licensing Committee. It is recommended that the Licensing Committee note and comment on the contents of the report and note the activity report for the reporting period. Thank you, Chair. That's my report.
Thank you, Claire, and thanks again for you and your team for all the outstanding work you do as such a small team. It's really, well, it's just brilliant, the amount of work you put in. So, right, members, any questions? We've got Linda Clarkson, Councillor Clarkson.
Yeah, I just wanted to inquire really, with the new member of team on board now and having had their training or coming towards the end of it, are you anticipating being able to reach the set targets this year?
I think that's a difficult one to answer because we are a very reactive service. So we come into work and we really don't know what's going to face us each day. Obviously, we have to prioritise on a daily basis because some matters have to be dealt with urgently. So if we received complaints in relation to, let's say, a taxi driver being investigated for certain offences, what we planned for that day, we have to prioritise, we have to deal with that issue. I'd like to say hopefully we can make progress in meeting our targets, but obviously I would be unable to commit to that because we are a small service and we have to react to situations as and when we occur. That's not something that I could promise that we would definitely be able to achieve, but we will certainly try our best.
Progress is good.
It is.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Linda. Any other questions, members? No? Brilliant, thanks. Oh, Councillor Parish?
Thank you, Chairman. Can I just ask, the statistics I'm looking at on page 21, premises visits and inspection by officers, alcohol and entertainment. In Q1, there was 60. Was that just a catch-up after COVID? You know, that seems to be a lot, you know, in one quarter. Was it just a catch-up or?
Yes, and obviously visits, it could be visits in relation to delivering some information that we want to get out to the trade. It could be full-on inspections where we've spent time going through things. We try and get out as much as we can. So it could be an element of catch-up. It could be an element of ensuring that COVID regulations that were in time at the place were being adhered to. Sorry, off the top of my head, I can't remember what the COVID regulations were in Q1, but, you know, the visits could be a wide range of things. But yeah, you know, we certainly try and play catch up where we can.
Thank you for that. Only 60 seem to be a lot in one quarter, you know, but I'm not complaining about it. I mean, you're working hard there. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Councillor Parish. Any other questions? No, if we move on to the recommendations? No. Then the recommendations are on page 18 of your agenda. Members, do you agree the recommendations? Those who are for? Anybody against? Can you just say, because I can't see everybody? Anybody abstaining? No? Okay then, thanks members. Right. Agenda item 6, which is date of the next meeting. For your information, the date of the next meeting is scheduled to take place on the 24th of November 2022. Right, we go on to agenda item 7, which is exclusion of press and public. I'm sorry, members, I've got to read this little paragraph I've been told. So, members, do you agree to the exclusion of the press and public from the meeting as presentations and meeting papers are not for publication because in accordance with the paragraphs 12 and 14 of Part 4 of Schedule 12A of the Local Governments Act 1972 as amended by the Access to Information Variation Order Wales 2007, it contains information about a particular individual and information relating to the financial and business affairs of particular persons, including the council, and in all circumstances of the case, the public interest in maintaining the exemptions outweighs the public interest in disclosing the information. Do we all agree to turn off the webcasting and move on? Okay, thank you. We'll go to, have you stopped recording, Chris?